bonus video. Let's talk about lifestyle. I told you I'd give you some videos on what to do with your money once you start becoming successful, because that's the goal of this. It's not just to live to work, it's work to live, right? So your job supports your lifestyle. Just like you're learning in this program about the brand story, your brand story should not be all about work. Your life story should include fun, it should include travel, it should include adventure, it should include friends and family and downtime, relaxation and you know, exercise time and learning some skills that you don't get paid for but you like to do anyway. It could be art, could be music, it could be, you know, martial arts, all these different things that don't necessarily, they're not your job, but you love them. And so I'm going to give you, I want to give you some overview of what I've learned. I did not grow up with a family that had money. I mean, I was born to a single mom. My dad was in prison when I was born. Luckily, my grandmother, my mom's mom, was around. So my mom moved back, and my grandma helped raise me. And my grandma was better off at the time. So we weren't, you know, dirt poor, but we lived in, you know, lower middle class or upper lower class. And my mom probably never made more than maybe $25,000 a year, and we had roommates, and we didn't have much lifestyle. My mom got remarried when I was a little older, and that gave another income source. And my stepdad he worked at the post office and made $50,000-$60,000 a year. So, you know, I lived in a mobile home for some of the time, so I did not grow up understanding the nice amenities that life had. I traveled a little bit, you know, like I said, but I didn't really get it. And I don't think I was ever around somebody who made a six-figure income till later in my life, till in my 20s. I don't think I ever met a millionaire, or I never been in a Ferrari or Lamborghini, or I don't think I'd ever been in a Mercedes growing up. You know, that was above my experience. And so I've learned a lot of things, and so I want to share some of those with you. Not that you want to live a completely materialistic life, because what you want to do, and this is the first principle of what I'm about to teach you in this bonus, is that always make material things the subservient goal. So there's scientists who have studied happiness, and they said, and I'll put it in layman's terms, if the reason you want material things is to show off, they won't bring you happiness, okay? If the reason you want material things is because they will function for you, right, then it's okay to get them. I'll give you a good example of this. I have, you know, some fancy cars, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce. People think that I'm doing those to show off, but I'm not. If there were no people on the planet, like that Will Smith movie, what's it called, I Am Legend, where he's the last person in New York or whatever, what did he do? He went and found a Mustang, a fast car, and drove it. And so he wasn't doing it to show off. Just like he would do it if there's no people around. For me, having nice cars, they're not to show off. They do show off, but that's not the primary reason that I have them. I would have a Ferrari. If the whole world ended and I was the last person left on the planet, I'd walk down to a Ferrari dealership and take a Ferrari. Why? Because I enjoy driving them. I enjoy the power. I enjoy the craftsmanship. I enjoy the speed. And so whatever you do in life, be very careful as you become more successful of living to impress other people. It's been proven over and over scientifically not to serve you well. But if you like nice things for other reasons, in and of themselves, for intrinsic reasons, they're okay. You know, that's why I don't wear fancy jewelry, Rolexes. I don't get much value. You might like watches, and you might like the craftsmanship, and then it's okay to get a Rolex. But for me, I don't really value those things. The only reason I would have fancy watches would be to show off to other people. And one of the things that I learned from mentors and life experiences, as you become more successful, don't fall for that trap. So that's principle number one. Don't fall for the trap of living a lifestyle to show off, okay? Number two, incorporate travel into your life. Even if you consider yourself a homebody, the benefits that you will gain, both in what they call experiential memories and the memory. So there's two types of happiness. Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Prize winner, talks about this. There's momentary happiness, like in the moment you enjoy it. And then there's what's called memory happiness, where you look back with fond memories of things you've done. Those two combine to your overall happiness, fulfillment, and well-being. So travel is, we humans have been built with a hard code to enjoy the novelty of new places, the experience, and it has a double benefit. As you begin to travel more to places you've always thought about but never been able to afford to go or never thought you had the time to go, you're going to learn a lot in business. In fact, if you study businesses like Red Bull, Nike, these ideas came from people who were traveling outside of their local area and got ideas and brought it back to their local area. So your social media marketing agency and different things you do, whether you're a real estate investor and all these other multiple streams of income you've created for yourself, will all be benefited by travel. So that's the number two thing. Travel is going to be a big part, and I'll be showing you some things that I've learned, and I would recommend that at the maximum once a month, or not there is no maximum. I travel a lot now, but a good gauge is between once a month and once a quarter. So if you're really love traveling, start going once a month, even if it's for short. If you're not so big on travel, then go at least 3 to 4 times a year, once a quarter, 4 times a year. Now, principle number 3, use your money if you can, if it's practical, to get a nicer place to live first. That's more important than getting cars and all that to start with. In fact, the first time I really started making, I made my first internet business. I bought a course by Corey Rudel, and I built a financial services business, and I made like 6 figures in the first 9 to 12 months, and it really felt good because before then I had $47 in my bank account, was broke and unemployed. And so first thing I did, and I'm thankful that I did this because I had read about this and learned from some mentors, is I upgraded where I lived. There's a good book called Happiness Hypothesis. If you don't enjoy where you live, your blood stress levels, your cortisol levels go up, even if you try to just grin and bear it. So find a place, upgrade where you live. If you're renting, you might even be able to just rent a nicer place in the same apartment that you're in. Certainly get some nicer furniture, get some things, get a nice mattress. Very important. All these are practical things to do with your money that's going to improve your life. If you've got a house, think about, and you want to do this after you have some predictable revenue, so don't do this the first month, but you could think about upgrading where you live. You could keep the property you have and rent it out. For those of you who are in the real estate rental course, you could get that course if you're not in it, and you could learn how to start renting out your house, and then you could upgrade. In fact, there's a guy I know in Hollywood who, that's what he did. He built over 100 homes he owns now in the Hollywood Hills. He rents them out for $5,000 to $20,000 a month. So he's making, tens or more $1 million of profit a year. And he started out, he would get a house, he would renovate it, live in it, then move on to the next one and rent out the old one. And so he was more in the real estate business, but if you live in a house that you own, don't feel like you're trapped there. Get a nice place. It will have big dividends. So the next point, I think we're on point 4. Spend some money flying in friends. Okay? There's tremendous happiness from having old friends around you. And so some of your friends won't be as well off as you. And if you can start using your money specifically to help those friends of yours who don't have as much money come hang out with you, this is powerful. You can hire them. That's a little more complicated. Some of my best friends, Zach and Jeremy, they work for me, some of my siblings, but I'm not saying you have to take it that far. I'm saying you could do it as simply as once or twice a month, flying them all into Vegas with you, or flying them all on a trip to Puerto Rico or something. It's not that expensive. You could just say, hey, it's been such a long time since I've seen you. I've got a gift for you. And it doesn't have to be that expensive. In fact, this is another one of the first things I did when I had money. I took 3 or 4 friends and my dad, who I didn't grow up with. We all went to Puerto Rico for a week. And I remember the whole trip, I think, cost me, including flying people, like $4,000. We didn't live in didn't have that much money, so we lived in a decent hotel, but I was able to fly my dad out from Los Angeles. And that was the only trip I've ever done with my dad. And he didn't have the money. Like I said, my dad was born in Harlem and never made much money. And so I was able to create that experience, and that's once in a lifetime. And I'm so thankful that my mentors taught me how to create income, so I had that opportunity. So get your old friends. They call this companionative friendship, meaning very close friends that go beyond friendships. They're actually your companions, and they say it's people that you've known for over 10 years or more to qualify. So you take some of those friends you haven't, even if you haven't seen for years, bring them back into your life. This is a great use of your money. Next thing, not necessarily in order of importance, but find a charity that you love and become actively involved both financially and with your time. I have found that for whatever reason, magic happens when I'm more charitable. I feel better about myself. Financially, I seem to do better. Socially, I seem to do better. You get around different types of people. Charities attract cool people as opposed to only doing business where you get a lot of sharks, a lot of business is full of. I read a book called The Wisdom of Psychopaths, and business attracts quadruple the amount of psychopaths than the normal population, and things like charities attract like half as much as normal. So you're creating a different social circle for yourself, you're helping the world, you're feeling better about yourself. And I believe if you are spiritual, that I think there's blessings there that go beyond material things. So I'm a big, I find a few charities and I rotate them. Like I like heifer.org. They provide livestock and food to impoverished people around the world. I've got really actively involved in that, and I focused on them. I've got to know, lunch with the CEO, and I really understand their message. And I also like Innocence Project, which is one that helps people falsely in prison get out of prison. I like the Big Brothers program because Big Brothers, when my mom was a single mom, I had a big brother, Dave Nyerges, who was a great guy and really, I think, helped me at a vulnerable time when you're, I'm 5 years old with just a mom, no dad around. And so that was important to me, so I support that charity. So I think that, you find yours. It can be environmental ones, it can be religious ones, whatever it is, but get behind them and start using your money for that, And you don't have to do it in a show-off way. People, and I have mixed feelings on whether I should tell people, and so my conclusion, I don't know if it's the right conclusion or not. Some people will tell you don't let the right hand know what the left hand's doing, that you don't get a blessing, and if you don't. But in the modern world, sometimes people are going to find out. So what I try to do is sometimes I'll share what I'm doing and sometimes I won't. I mix it up. I publicly, heifer.org, I did a matching program where I gave $1 million to them, and then they matched it, so we ended up raising like $2.5 million. I had to publicly say that in order to do the matching thing, but I've given a lot of other money to other charities and kept my mouth closed. So I think it's okay to mix it up. You don't want to do charity just for PR, but occasionally it gets out and it's okay PR, and I think that's part of it, and it's okay. The charity might advertise you. So yeah, I just wanted to go through this video, and here's what your homework is for this one. Of these ideas that I gave on lifestyle, what stands out to you the most? What do you want to do first? Because I gave you an order, but what's yours? And give some specifics, okay? So this is an awesome one. I hope each of you get to a place where your new issues is what to do with the extra money you have. That's a great problem. So I'll talk to you soon.